Where were the keys? He doesn't know about any of that stuff. So tell me how Mr. Govan got into the car and how he did it so beautifully, being dumb enough to take the murder car of one of the most famous people and say, let's just park it across the street, and then somehow magically wiped his prints, DNA, hair, anything out of that car while he's looking for the phone. You know why that is? Because he didn't do it. What you're going to hear from Treon Ingram is Treon Ingram, when he stole the car, left his backpack, his wallet, and some other things in the car. And he had Justin Johnson go get them. When you cherry pick the evidence that you want to tell you, and then have the cameras rolling on high-profile case to pressure you to commit a verdict of guilty, it's patently unfair. And just because he's a nobody and doesn't have money like Gotti or Jook, his brother, who was never even questioned or charged, he's the fall guy on all this stuff. He didn't do anything. Even if you believe Cornelius, all he says is, I just happened to show up there, and he said, hey, it's a little seat. Jook took over and started doing all the talking. Do you think that man could pay somebody $100,000 and you'd say, yeah, he's good for it. I don't need any validation. He's good for it.
Damn, those paper out, Justin and went back and told Quick that me and Bobby so-called messed it up or whatever. So, you know, Quick was like, y'all had y'all masks on. Justin them told him we ain't have our masks on. I ain't have my mask.
Govan knew that this was going on, and he asked
right,
you to have
he
a
the one
mask.
gave me the gun to go out there.
And he asked that you have a mask on.
Right, he asked me that.
Okay.
And he was saying, like, Justin was telling him that we messed it up or whatever, and that's when Bob was like, he ain't doing nothing with nobody, he ain't getting involved in it or whatever, because Quick believe everything Justin them say, and, you know, at that time, Quick basically telling me, like, you with Johnson and you with Justin them, and you know what I'm saying, handle the bid, and you want to get this money. Since Bobby acting like he acting, you know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you said.
Since Bobby acting like he acting, he told me to get with Justin and them, you know, since Bobby had...
Govan told you to get with Justin?
Yeah, Quick told me to get with Justin.
Okay. And what reason was he telling you to get with Justin?
So we could find one of the any artists to get this money, you know, and...
So, what would Govan gain out of you all getting a bounty or a hit on one of the paper route?
He was getting a cut out of it. You know, he supposed to got $10,000 for me.
No matter who you hit, or if it was...
Nah, young Dolph, he supposed to got 10,000. I did 100,000. I did 50,000. He was getting 10,000 out of it.
So throughout the summer, going into the fall, did you and Justin and Govan ever meet?
Yeah, we'll meet up over Quick House.
He is the accused mastermind behind the murder of Memphis rapper Young Dolph. Action News 5's Amani Williams was in the court.
Hernandez Govan's trial. The court heard from 3 witnesses. Memphis rapper Young Dolph's sister, his security guard, and Cornelius Smith, the man who admits to being one of 2 shooters who killed Dolph in November 2021. Prosecutors say Govan was the mastermind behind the murder. Manny Aurora, Govan's attorney, says that is not true.
Nobody communicated with Govan for weeks prior to this. They didn't talk to him that morning. He didn't help him get the car. He didn't help him escape. He didn't tell him what to do. He didn't tell him where to go. He didn't do anything. It was a spontaneous issue between 2 young men that morning.
Smith says Govan was a point of contact before and after the murder was done. He said Govan told him about a hit on Young Dolph for $100,000 so he could make some extra money.
He mentioned prices on, you know, who had 50 on his head. Young Dolph had 100 on his head. Somebody had 5 on their head, 10 on their head. He mentioned the prices.
The bounty came from tension between Young Dolph's record label, Paper Route Empire, and rapper Yo Gotti's record label, Cocaine Music Group, tensions that were years in the making. The prosecution says Govan was a vital part of the plan, noting the car involved in the murder was found near his home days later.
To hide the white Mercedes, to hide the murder car that was parked directly across the street from his own home. Not only that, but the day before Cornelius Smith was arrested, he ran into Govan. Govan was concerned. Govan was worried.
Aurora questioned that plan.
They left the car across the street from Govan's house on the middle of the street, in front of the street. So if there's some master plan, that may be one of the dumbest plans you could possibly have if you're going to kill the most important person, the most famous person in Memphis.
Day 2 of the trial begins on Tuesday. We expect more witnesses to take the stand. Govan is facing a first-degree murder charge and a conspiracy to commit charge. Reporting in downtown Memphis.
Yo, it's Big Ant, the spokesman, man. We back. Another edition of Urban Politicians TV. UPTV. Make sure you stay on your pivot at all times, man. Had to come tap in, and first and foremost, I do want to send condolences to young Dolph entire family with this trial coming back up, them having to relive this moment again, somebody that they cared and loved about, the whole paper route team, anybody that was close to him, dealt with him on the day-to-day, who was still going through with that loss. His kids, most definitely, God bless young Dolph's soul, and may he rest in peace. And I had a links in the description where you can watch the clips in the beginning in full from Action 5, and also Byron Blake YouTube channel, as I was watching this court case live through bits and pieces yesterday, and I saw his video drop, and I said, man, he came to the same understanding that I came from when I watched Byron Blake video. Then I was like, is they saying that, you know, just keeping it 100? I'm not the expert. I don't know what's what. I know legal matters work differently in court. Seems like they just throwing everything on Jook, and that's the defense mechanism, saying, hey, he's the fall guy. He didn't have the 100,000. Everybody's just throwing things on him. This is up with the CMG situation. Now, this is what he's saying directly in court, as y'all seen right there yourselves. And I'm going to get into a little bit of this updated write-up from today in just a second. But when you hear that, it's like, I don't know what's what here. It just looked crazy, and then we in a crazy spot in this game when we see these courts live in real time. And he even spoke on that. Oh, y'all using the court system for dynamics, and he just accusing them, hey, you know, prosecutors, y'all using the court system, y'all using the way that y'all painting it out, that he did this and that, as he is saying he is innocent and he didn't have nothing to do with this. Well, Cornelius Smith and straight drop, as they went to trial last year, they went straight drop with the trial. Cornelius Smith could testify against him as well, said they did him dirty, that, hey, Hernandez Govan was supposed to get 10,000 off of each of they 50, which would mean he would get 20 out of the 100,000, facilitating it, putting it together. As you heard right there, he said, hey man, he gave me a gun. He's the one that orchestrated it for us in this situation, but they hid the car across the street from his house. Now, his defense is saying, hey man, nah, bro. They did that being careless. How was he a mastermind? What type of master plan would that be? But I'll tell you like this, bro. To carry out a murder and doing it with people that you don't really know, first of all, just doing a murder in itself can always take you to another direction, and you're going to be like, hold on, why'd you do that? But when you hear how it plays out, when you hear how dudes didn't really know each other that well, how the money got broke down, they all on camera and stuff, doing it broad daylight, and they had already went for an attempt on paper route rule, said this whole thing was kind of doomed from the start on the outside looking in, just keeping it all the way 100, especially to go after somebody the way that they did as big as young Dolph in this situation. Now, also his girlfriend is testifying today, Cornelius Smith's girlfriend. His sister spoke, and Dolph's security spoke as well, but the defense is saying there's no physical evidence that links Hernandez Govan to any of this. We just got to wait and see how it play out in this courtroom. Memphis, Tennessee, day 2 of the trial for Hernandez Govan. The alleged mastermind in the death of rapper Young Dolph began at 9:40 Tuesday morning. The first witness called was the girlfriend of Cornelius Smith.
And how are you familiar, or where have you seen Mr. Govan?
A couple of times riding with Cornelius over his house.
Over whose house?
Over Govan's house.
Okay. So you and Cornelius Smith would go to Govan's house?
I would ride with him, yes.
Okay. Would you ever go inside?
No,
So how do you know it was Govan's house?
because Cornelius told me.
Did you see Govan outside the home?
Yes,
Okay. Do you know where this home is located?
on Bradley Street.
On Monday, the trial began with opening statements from state prosecutors who say the case is about choices. The prosecutor said Govan chose 2 desperate people to kill young Dolph, Justin Johnson, an inspired rapper and Cornelius Smith, who needed money for drugs. She says there was a $100,000 bounty for young Dolph and that Govan would take a $10,000 cut. Govon's defense attorney, Manny Rewara, told the jury that Cornelius Smith, who has been cooperative with prosecutors, isn't a credible source, and that he's trying to protect himself by painting Govon as the fall guy in the case. 3 witnesses, Young Dolph's sister, his security guard, and Cornelius Smith, were the first 3 witnesses to take the stand. I must say innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. But the way that the state and the prosecutors is pointing it out, they got these pictures of him and Yo Gotti's brother, most definitely, everything with him. God bless his soul as well. And condolences to their family. It's people that ain't got nothing to do with what happened, that loved him and cared about him also. But with that and them being in that picture together, and then you got people connecting the dots, it all boils down to the jury, bro, because they make the final decision as they put out the jury selection right now. You can see what they selected with it. We don't know these people personally, but it's all about what they see. When there's a witness, there's a motive, the motive being money. They can determine that y'all had a relationship. It's on them to decide, hey, without a reasonable doubt, they have an intent for the murder. They have a motive for the murder, but do they have enough to connect the dots? We will have to see. When it came to straight dropping Cornelius being in the car, they was caught on camera up the street afterwards making phone calls, doing this, doing that. So it pretty much put them deadlocked. Plus, after the fact, straight drop getting with his half-brother, and his half-brother coming and testifying as well as he got him involved in it. That right there pretty much sealed the deal for him. Cornelius is saying, hey, I'm doing this to clear my conscience, man. They did me dirty. They didn't pay me. Afterwards, I only got $800 out of this situation, and he was addicted to drugs. He admitted all that. So it's just a bunch of layers. This is a crazy, another crazy case getting played out in the courtroom. I'm not convicting nobody from the cell phone right now. All I'm gonna do is come give y'all the facts and speak the real. Just one of these situations, man. Gotta avoid these type of conflicts at all costs, these type of situations at all costs, because in the end, everybody take a loss, man. You're gonna be away from your family, you're gonna be away from your loved ones, and you probably gonna say in the end, bro, it ain't worth it. I should be here living, experiencing life, enjoying myself, and doing it and being here for the people that really care and love for me no matter what. But, sometimes you get caught up in these moments. Everybody human. Tell me what y'all think. We got more coming, more videos, all that. 1000 for shit show. Stay on your pivot.